Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. The 1986 baseball season was filled with determination and drama, with great plays and gutsy players, with heroic highs and heartbreaking lows. And like every other season, 1986 proved that it's not over till it's over. Right, Yogi?
We don't call the shots here. Don't make the rules. We take what we get what we can. It's learning the hard way here on the street. You can't build a dream without a plan.
This year in baseball, the story of the 1986 season. First, let's review the American League East, where the Red Sox rolled to the top. Boston blasted off right, thanks to Dwight Evans.
We are ready for the first pitch of the 86 season, and here it is. Long drive, left center field. Way back. Gone. Home run, Dwight Evans.
Hey, what a way to start the season. A positive sign of things to come for the surprising Red Sox in '86, and everything stayed positive, with fireballing Roger Clemens posting a 24-4 mark. Included among his Cy Young credentials was a late April outing against Seattle that put Clemens into the record books.
A new record! Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Another positive sign was Don Baylor, who time and again pulled up the Sox.
There goes a long shot to left field. Home run! Don Baylor, grand slam.
At the plate, the Sox were as strong as ever, but the big difference was pitching. In addition to Clemens, Oil Can Boyd and Bruce Hurst led a staff that compiled the league's third-best ERA. And a much-improved bullpen had 11 more saves than in 1985. On offense, Wade Boggs batted .357 to capture his third league batting title in 4 years, and he banged out at least 200 hits for the fourth straight season.
I'm not so sure that man couldn't get a hit if they turned the lights out in here.
Also lighting it up was Jim Rice, who batted .324 with 20 homers and 110 RBIs. Now, with performances like that, the Sox held on to first place since mid-May and then pulled out of reach in September, winning 20 out of 27 to raise their first division flag in 11 years.
The high pop-up. Buckner is there. It's all over. The Red Sox are the new division champions.
In Toronto, Jimmy Williams took over as manager from the departed Bobby Cox, but the 1985 division winners fell victim to misery on the mound and finished third. Most outstanding was the Blue Jays' performance at the plate. Power broker George Bell did a booming business in '86, blasting 31 home runs, batting .309, and tying a team record with 108 RBIs. Teammate Jesse Barfield was the biggest boomer, belting 40 home runs that not only set a new team record, but led the major leagues. In New York, Lou Piniella took over as manager and guided the Yankees to 90 wins for the fifth best record in the majors, despite having to juggle an erratic pitching staff all season long. The Yankees' offense was led by Don Mattingly, who became only the sixth player ever and first since 1937 to collect at least 30 homers, 100 RBIs, and 230 hits in one season. Teammate Dave Winfield was also in the swing, becoming the only active player in the majors to drive in 100 runs 5 straight seasons. Reliever Dave Righetti entered the record books with 46 saves in '86. Breaking the old mark of 45 saves in a season, shared by Bruce Sutter and Dan Quisenberry. In Detroit, Jack Morris remained the Major League's winningest pitcher in the '80s. A career-high 21 wins in '86 raised his total to 123 for the decade. And get this, the Tigers became only the second team ever with all 4 infielders hitting at least 20 homers in the same season. In Cleveland, an Indian uprising in '86. After losing 102 games in '85, the Tribe turned it around to finish '84 and '78. Rookie Corey Snyder provided plenty of punch for a team that led the majors in batting average and runs scored. But the man who really pumped up the Indians was Joe Carter. Credit him with 200 hits and a Major League leading 121 RBIs to help give Cleveland a whole new perspective. In Milwaukee, popular manager George Bamberger retired near season's end, and against Baltimore in Bambi's last game, he got a grand going-away present from Teddy Higuera, who became the league's only left-hander in '86 and third pitcher in Brewer history to win 20 games. On offense, Rob Deere slammed 33 homers to tie for fourth in the league. In Baltimore, legendary Earl Weaver retired after his first losing season as a big league manager. Injuries to the likes of Eddie Murray kept the Orioles grounded as they finished in last place for the first time ever in Baltimore. On the bright side, Don Ossie spelled relief with 34 saves, second in the league, and finished with an ERA below 3. Next up, the American League West and a California coronation. Bobby Grich got the Angels going in '86 just as Dwight Evans did for Boston, cracking a home run in Seattle on the very first pitch of the season. Wally Joyner replaced Rod Carew at first base and turned Anaheim Stadium into Wally World. At the All-Star break, Joyner had 20 homers and 72 RBIs, becoming the first rookie ever voted to start in the Midsummer Classic. Manager Gene Mauch also called on top-flight pitching. Mike Witt won 18 games and struck out 208 batters with a 2.84 ERA, as the Angels boasted the second-best ERA in the league. Veteran Don Sutton provided 15 wins, and despite part-time service, John Candelaria went 8-2. What's more, with 17 wins from second-year man Kirk McCaskill, the Angels had 3 15-game winners for the first time in team history. Also plenty to cheer about in Texas, where the Rangers improved 25 games over the previous season. Manager Bobby Valentine led the club from a last-place finish in '85 to second place in '86.
I'm proud of the way guys played. They played with really good intensity and haven't been intimidated at all, keep working hard, and that's the formula for success.
Valentine relied on a tried-and-true formula for the pitching with veteran Charlie Huff, who led the team with 17 wins. As for the untested babes of the staff, Bobby Witt jumped from Double-A ball to the majors and won 11 games, while rookie Ed Correa won 12 to provide further evidence that Ranger pitching is on the rise. Texas Mercury rose especially high at the plate, where Pete O'Brien contributed 21 homers and 89 RBIs. Scott Fletcher hit an even 300, and rookie Pete Incaviglia hammered 29 homers. But the young Rangers finally fell to the Angels in the division-clinching game at Anaheim in late September.
The pitch, it's all over. The magic number is 0.
California's third division crown in 8 years. In Kansas City, the Royals slumped badly after dramatically winning it all in '85. Manager Dick Hauser led the American League to victory in the '86 All-Star game, but soon after came the tragic news that Hauser had a brain tumor. '85 Cy Young winner Brett Saberhagen symbolized KC's '86 pitching problems, winning only 7 games. Bo Jackson aroused future hope after being called up in late September. The '85 Heisman Trophy winner blasted the longest home run ever hit at Royal Stadium. In Oakland, rookie Jose Canseco brightened an otherwise disappointing season by smacking 33 homers and finishing second in the league with 117 RBIs. Joe Cowley gave the Chicago White Sox a shining moment in a troublesome season with a no-hitter against California. Only his 6th complete game, by the way, in the majors. In Minnesota, Kirby Puckett turned in a season most players only dream about. 31 homers, a .328 average, and 223 hits. On the mound, Bert Blyleven became the 10th pitcher ever with 3,000 career strikeouts, but he also gave up 50 home runs to set a single-season record. In Seattle, Dick Williams was hired as manager but couldn't steer the Mariners ship out of the cellar. Promising rookie Danny Tartabull found smooth sailing, though, with 25 homers and 96 RBIs. Now, a review of the National League East, where the Mets were masters. New York won the division by 21.5 games with 108 victories, tying for most wins in the league since 1909. In April, a win against 85 division winners St. Louis got the Mets going. Down by 2 in the ninth, Howard Johnson batting.
The Mets need a long ball. They might have it. This ball is out of here, and this game is tied. Oh, my goodness. So much for fate.
The Mets won 4 straight from St. Louis and never looked back, thanks in part to a pitching quartet that led the majors in ERA. Dwight Gooden combined with former Red Soxer Bob Ojeda for 35 victories. As for the bullpen, manager Davey Johnson found a savior in Roger McDowell, who collected 21 saves and 14 wins. But New York's runaway train could not have rolled without Gary Carter with 105 RBIs, Keith Hernandez with a Gold Glove and a .310 average, and Darryl Strawberry with 27 homers. Such were the mighty, mighty Mets.
Fair ball! The Mets will win it. It's 6-5 New York. Grand slam home run! Tim Teufel.
This ball game is over, and I don't believe it. They are right now the dominant team in this game, in either league.
With the Mets making a mockery out of any division race in '86, the other teams in the East were forced to take their comfort in individual accomplishments. In St. Louis, Cardinal speedster Vince Coleman stayed on the run by becoming only the second player ever to steal 100 bases 2 straight years, while reliever Todd Worrell led the league with 36 saves, setting a new record for saves in a season by a rookie. In Philadelphia, Mike Schmidt led the Phillies to a second-place finish with 37 homers and 119 RBIs, both tops in the league. Bon Hayes contributed a league-leading 46 doubles and scored 107 runs. In Montreal, Tim Raines continued to shine, winning the league batting crown with a .334 average and ranking 3rd in steals with 70, giving him 6 straight years of at least that many. Shortstop Sean Dunston helped soften the Blues in Chicago with 17 home runs, and he added a dazzling dose of flair in the field.
Sean, a great stop. Long throw. Got him. I can't believe it. He got him.
In Pittsburgh, Rick Rhoden turned in a strong season with 15 wins and the league's 4th best ERA. While on offense, Pirate fans found promise in rookie Barry Bonds, who blasted 16 homers and stole 36 bases in 113 games. Now, the National League West and the out-of-sight Astros. First-year manager Hal Lanier made Houston the most surprising team in the league with a strong transfusion of spirit. But of course, great pitching did help. Mike Scott won 18 games, and he led the league in ERA and became the 4th pitcher in league history to strike out 300 in a season. Nolan Ryan spruced up his all-time strikeout lead by setting down 194 in '86, while winning 12 games despite an injury-shortened season. Bob Nepper won 17 games to set a team record for lefties, and a modern major league record was set by rookie Jim Deshaies when he struck out 8 Dodgers to start a game. Pitching was the key for a Houston team that gave up the fewest hits in the majors while posting the 2nd-best ERA. On offense, the main man was Glenn Davis, who drove in 101 runs and hammered 31 homers. first Astro to hit 30 in one season since Jimmy Wynn way back in 1969. Kevin Bass played a key role by batting .311 with 20 homers, 79 RBIs, and 22 stolen bases. Fact is, the Never Say Die Astros came from behind to win 39 games.
Smash, fair ball. Astros win. Astros win. Astros win again. If you haven't gotten excited yet about this 1986 Houston Astros baseball team, I don't know what it takes.
Well, how about a no-hitter to clinch it?
Now the hitter is Will Clark. He's 0 for 3. Swinging a bouncer. This could be it. Davis runs to the bag. Game is over. No-hitter. Astros win the championship. What a way to do it. Mike Scott had just thrown his first career no-hitter, and the Astros are the National League's champions of the West. Holy Toledo!
Great Scott, what a way to clinch. In San Francisco, manager Roger Craig kept the Giants in the race until September in his first full season. Changing their tune from last place the previous season, the Giants won 83 games. Quite a turnaround for a team that lost 185 and wasn't expected to do much. But at the All-Star break, the Giants were atop the West, and all season long they found novel ways to play the game.
Right back to the mound. Good stab by Mel Allen. Runs most of the throw. What?
So you think you've seen everything in this game, huh?
With rookie first baseman Will Clark providing plenty of spark, the Giants displayed one of the game's most promising young infields. All-star Chris Brown hit .317 in his second season, and second baseman Robbie Thompson led all league rookies in hits and runs scored. Candy Maldonado was powerful in the pinch, providing a team-high 85 RBIs despite part-time service. On the mound, Mike Krukow gave the Giants their first 20-game winner in 13 years. Little wonder San Francisco took a giant leap forward. In Los Angeles, Pedro Guerrero was out for most of the year, and the Dodgers never came close to repeating as division champs. But Steve Sax had a standout season, batting .332 with 210 hits. On the mound, Fernando Valenzuela sparkled, leading the league in both wins with 21 and complete games with 20. Under player-manager Pete Rose, the Cincinnati Reds got out of the gate poorly, losing 22 out of their first 32 games. But from mid-May on, they played the best ball in the division to finish a strong second. Dave Parker was the key to Cincinnati's resurgence, blasting 31 homers and finishing second in the league with 116 RBIs. An outstanding contribution also came from Eric Davis, who emerged as a major offensive force with 27 homers, 71 RBIs, a .277 average, and 80 stolen bases. Eternal optimist Chuck Tanner took over as manager in Atlanta, but even Tanner's enthusiasm couldn't rally the Braves. Still, Bob Horner provided a memorable highlight when he belted 4 home runs in a game against Montreal, the 11th player in big league history to hit 4 home runs in one game. In San Diego, Tony Gwynn was rock solid amid much turbulence. Only the 5th player since 1900 to steal 5 bases in one game. And he led the league in hits, too, and runs scored. Fans also made news in 1986, setting a new attendance record of 47.5 million. What's more, for the first time in Major League history, every team drew at least 1 million. How about that? The '86 season also had its share of individual milestones. California's Don Sutton made history against Texas in mid-June, becoming the 19th pitcher ever to win 300 games. At age 41, Sutton entered the Magic Circle in his 21st season.
I know that I'm not spectacular. I know that I'm not flamboyant. I know that I am not a dominating pitcher. But I've worked very hard at my trade. I've worked very hard at staying in shape, and I've worked very hard at staying a good ball player.
Steve Carlton was on the mound for San Francisco when he made history in the game against Cincinnati.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. At 8:30 Pacific Daylight Time on August the 5th, 1986, Steve Carlton registered his 4,000th Major League strikeout.
Philadelphia reliever Kent Tekulve came on to wrap up a victory against his former Pittsburgh Pirates and in the process set a National League record for appearances by a pitcher. Tekulve broke the old mark of 846 set by Elroy Face. California's Reggie Jackson kept climbing in the record books, passing Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle to move into 6th place on the all-time home run list. Jackson finished the season with 548 career homers, 25 shy of number 5 all-time Harmon Killebrew. Cincinnati's Tony Perez retired after 22 seasons, ranking 14th all-time in RBIs and tied for 25th in homers with 379. On to the American League Championship Series, Boston and California. It began at Boston's fabled Fenway Park, and in Game 1, California's Mike Witt was masterful, a complete Game 5 hitter and an 8-1 victory. But next day, Bruce Hurst got Boston even, going all the way, winning 9-2. On to California for Game 3, where the Angels took the lead again with a 5-3 victory. In Game 4, Boston ace Roger Clemens was cruising with a 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the 9th, but Doug DeCinces led off with a home run, and after 2 more base hits, Clemens was relieved by Calvin Schiraldi. The Angels scored again and then loaded the bases with 2 outs when Schiraldi hit Brian Downing with a pitch to force home the tying run. It stayed 3-all until the last of the 11th when Bobby Grich drove home the winning run, handing the Red Sox a heartbreaking loss and the Angels a 3-1 lead in the series. Game 5 was pure melodrama. In the 6th inning, Grich ended up with a home run when Dave Henderson couldn't hang on, and that gave the Angels the lead. Then in the 9th, Boston down by 3, but with 1 out, Don Baylor blasted a 2-run homer to pull the Red Sox within 1. Donnie Moore came on in relief, and with 2 outs and a man on base, Dave Henderson was batting, and he had 2 strikes on him. Moore's reaction tells the story. The Angels 1 strike away from the pennant, but Henderson's homer gave the Sox a 1-run lead. California came back to tie the game in the last of the 9th, but in the 11th, Henderson came through again with a sacrifice fly that brought home the game winner, and the Sox were still alive. Back to Boston for Game 6, where the Red Sox racked up 16 hits and rolled to a 10-4 victory that squared the series at 3 games apiece to set up a decisive 7th game. This time, Roger Clemens would not be denied, and the Boston batters gave him plenty of support. Calvin Schiraldi came on to close it out as the Red Sox completed one of the most compelling comebacks in playoff history. Now, the National League Championship Series, New York and Houston. The series opened at Houston's Astrodome, and in Game 1, pitcher Mike Scott was astronomical, tying a playoff record with 14 strikeouts, going all the way on a 5-hit shutout, while Glenn Davis gave the Astros the only run of the game with a 2nd-inning homer. But Bob Ojeda brought the Mets right back in Game 2, going all the way in a 5-1 win. The scene shifted to Shea Stadium for Game 3, where Bill Doran's two-run homer put Houston ahead 4-0 after 2 innings. But the Mets got a run before Darryl Strawberry tied the game with a 3-run blast in the 6th. Houston scored once more, but Wally Backman was on base in the bottom of the 9th when Lenny Dykstra unloaded a long ball to give New York a dramatic 6-5 win and a 2-1 lead in the series. But next day, Mike Scott mastered the Mets again on a complete Game 3 hitter to square the series once more. Game 5 featured a towering pitching matchup. For New York, young Dwight Gooden. For the Astros, veteran Nolan Ryan, who outpitched his opponent but left after 9 with the score tied at 1. Gary Carter drove home the game winner in the bottom of the 12th, and the Mets were 1 victory away from the pennant. Back to the Astrodome for a wild Game 6. Bob Nepper was sailing along with a 3-0 lead into the 9th inning. But then the Mets rallied to tie the game and send it into extra innings. It stayed that way until the 14th, when the Mets took a 1-run lead. But the astounding Astros came right back to tie it again on Billy Hatcher's home run with 1 out in the bottom of the inning. On it went into the 16th inning. Without doubt, one of the most heart-stopping games ever. New York scored 3 runs, but Houston answered with 2, and Jesse Orosco was on the mound with 2 Astros aboard, 2 outs, and Kevin Bass at the plate. And that was it, a fantastic finish to a spectacular series. And so the World Series came down to New York against Boston. The series began at Shea Stadium, where Boston starter Bruce Hurst held off the Mets in Game 1 as the Red Sox waltzed away with a 1-0 victory. In Game 2, Dave Henderson homered, and the Red Sox exploded for 18 hits to win easily 9-3. Boston fans were feeling mighty fine as the scene shifted to Fenway, but Bob Ojeda kept the Sox down as New York won it 7-1. Gary Carter got cracking in Game 4 with a pair of homers, propelling the Mets to a 6-2 victory that squared the series. But in Game 5, Bruce Hurst came back to beat the Mets once again, going all the way as Boston took it 4-2. The series soared to stunning heights back in New York for Game 6. With the score tied at 3 in the 10th, Dave Henderson delivered a home run, and the Sox scored again to go up by 2 and put them just 3 outs away from a championship. But after getting 2 outs, Calvin Schiraldi gave up 3 straight singles as the Mets narrowed the gap to 1 run. Bob Stanley came on for Boston, and with the bases loaded and 2 strikes on Mookie Wilson, Stanley uncorked a wild pitch that allowed the tying run to score. Wilson then hit a grounder to first, but Bill Buckner's error brought the winning run home, and the Mets had a miraculous reprieve. Game 7, score tied at 3 when Calvin Schiraldi surrendered a home run to Ray Knight in the 7th inning. It proved to be the game winner, and when it was all over, Knight was named Series MVP with a .391 average. Jesse Orosco came on to save the 8-5 victory to send New York into a wild celebration as 1986 became the year of the Mets.